I like coding agents right up until they ask for the keys to my actual machine. Docker just launched Sandboxes, a free command line tool that puts supported agents inside disposable microVMs. The promise is clear. Let Claude Code, Gemini CLI, Copilot CLI, or Kiro install packages and run services without touching the host. For someone who works alone, that is the difference between delegating a task and supervising a toddler near a breaker panel. I have not installed it for this review because installation changes the machine and deserves a deliberate decision. So this is a documentation-first review, what Docker says the boundary is, and what a quiet solo workflow could look like. My verdict is promising, with one footnote. A sandbox reduces blast radius. It does not turn an agent into good judgment. A coding agent asks to install a dependency, rewrite configuration, start a database, or run a test suite. You can approve every command, which protects the machine but destroys the point of unattended work. Or you can enable a permissive mode and spend the next hour wondering whether the agent is discovering your tax folder. Docker's answer is a dedicated microVM. Its docs say each sandbox gets its own Docker daemon, file system, and network. Only the project workspace is mounted. The agent can work inside that room while the host stays outside it. The boundary covers processes and the operating environment, not just files. The separation is architectural. Docker also says the command line tool is free, including for commercial use, and does not require Docker Desktop. Central organization governance is the paid part. The interesting product is therefore not enterprise policy. It is a disposable room with a door. First, begin with a clean Git branch and a project that contains no personal exports, production secrets, or unrelated credentials. Second, install the SBX tool only after reading its prerequisites, then enter the project and launch one supported agent with SBX run. Third, give it a bounded outcome. Update this dependency, run these tests, and write a change summary. Avoid a vague instruction like improve everything. Specificity is the safety mechanism of the sandbox. Fourth, let the agent install what it needs inside the sandbox, while keeping network access narrower than the task requires. Fifth, review the Git diff, test results, and generated files before anything leaves the branch. Then tear the sandbox down. You can step away without keeping one ear open for permission prompts. When you return, the evidence is the diff, not a stream of cheerful narration. That is the asynchronous collaboration introverts wanted. Clear scope in, inspectable work out, no stand-up in the middle, safe and quiet delegation. Docker's product page uses the phrase YOLO mode safely and makes permissive execution the default inside the sandbox. The project workspace is intentionally mounted, so an agent can still damage files you gave it. Git is your recovery layer. Network access can still send information outward if policies allow it. Credentials remain sensitive even when the host is isolated. A malicious dependency can still poison the work product, and a technically contained agent can produce a contained bad patch. Everything depends on the configuration. Isolation is a tool, not a replacement for your own vigilance. Docker lists controls for file system, network, and credentials, but the useful question is not whether controls exist. It is what the defaults expose on your machine, for your agent in your repository. Check the fine print. I would verify workspace mount behavior and exactly which files survive. A microVM is a security boundary. It is not a review, backup, or source of truth. The human is still the final gatekeeper. Worth investigating if you use coding agents and permission fatigue keeps pushing you toward shortcuts. Wait if your tasks are mostly writing, research, or browser work. This tool is designed around coding agents. Skip it if your real problem is that you do not review agent output. Isolation will not repair that habit. Start small. Test the boundary with a repository that doesn't matter until you know where the edges are. Docker sandboxes are a step toward the asynchronous future we were promised. Let's make sure it's a safe one. Copy a small, non-sensitive repository, Ask an agent to add one dependency and one test, and inspect every changed file. Confirm the host stayed clean, destroy the sandbox, then repeat. Agent autonomy is an environment design problem. We do not need an agent that asks us 30 questions. Give it a workshop, lock the hallway, and judge what it built in daylight. Subscribe for AI systems that let quiet people delegate without becoming full-time chaperones. I'm Joshua. Thanks for watching.